Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today's video is going to be a quick little gel pen page in Johanna Basford Small Victories. Nice and cute, nice and small, not much going on. So it's really nice and relaxing. I think I literally got this done within 1 hour. So I'm using pan pastels and then just a selection of gel pens. I just had my whole stash in front of me and just picked out random stuff as I went along. Tried to keep it a little bit cohesive, but starting off with some pan pastel here. So this is Phthalo Blue Tint. You don't have to use pan pastel if you don't want to. You can simply just use whatever pastel you like, even some pencils. And I'm just going over random bouquets with a cotton bud and the pan pastel, and I will erase in the flowers. So nice and simple. Then I'm going in with another colour. So I think I've just got 3 pan pastel colours today. So I don't want to make it too crazy. 3's nice. So I would, and you'll see in a minute, I do a bit of a doozy where I try and have all the colours mapped out evenly. I should have put that purple in the bottom centre rather than the bottom left. Because now my greens, the chromium green oxide tint, now that is like, they're on top of one another, which, look, it doesn't really matter, but it gives me a bit of a twitch in the eyeball, but that's okay. So super quick. I just want something no fuss. I think this was done on a Sunday night. So I'm going in with a putty eraser, and I wish that I had had one of these when I started pan pastel. So to me, this literally just feels like blue tack. Like I'm picking it up with some blue tack. We call it blue tack in Australia, and it comes right off, which is great. And I think you can get into all your little nooks and crannies, which is awesome. So great. And I think for the tiny little bits, you actually just can pick some off, like I'm doing there. You just pick it off. I'm pulling up 80 to 90% of the pan pastel on the flowers. With most of the gel pens, you could leave it. However, I do plan on using all of the brands of gel pen that I have, so not just the Jelly Roll. So it is necessary to pull up as much pastel as you can if you're using Signo, for example, because that is not as thick. The ink or the gel, if you will, isn't as thick. So just getting that ready there. And I have applied a small bit of fixative to the page. And I'm just going in with some gold. I'm always going to have gold. I'm always going to have it. So I'm just picking colours that I think will go nicely with the pan pastel colour backgrounds. There you go. You can see it a little bit better now. So gold's always a winner. And I'm going around these little dots on the petals there because I want to keep that detail in on this particular occasion. You guys would know if you've watched some of my gel pen tutorials and videos before, you'd know that I'm very selective with what detail I leave in and what I leave out. So you can see how I'm covering over those little sticks that connect to the dots. That is because if I tried to keep them in my opinion, I feel like the flowers would just look a bit messy. So I'm trying to neat them up a fair bit while still keeping some of the detail, which to me that is important. And again, with Johanna's work, because her line work is quite thick, I'm choosing to leave it in. I'm going in with another Jelly Roll, a nice teal one. And as you can see, look how thick that ink is. The gel ink, it is so nice. Hence why I really like using the Jelly Rolls on my pages. And like I said, this one took me an hour. I think I said at the start, this was a Sunday night project for me, and I just wanted something quick that I could get done and enjoy and not have to worry too much about all the cleanup and planning too much. Sometimes you just want to go in and go, bleh. And so gel pen and Small Victories is perfect for that kind of work. Now what I'm doing as well, every gel pen that I'm picking out of my tubs, I'm putting to the side because I'm going to reuse them. So for me, I like to have some kind of theme and continuity. I'm not saying that that's always going to be the case. Maybe there'll be a challenge where I just try and use every gel pen on a page. I don't know. Or whether I try and pick up different ones every time. Who knows? We'll see. But I'm trying to have some level of togetherness. I don't know why I chose black. I think I chose the black because number one, this is a new Signo for me. Number two, just to enhance the little stems, I have little black accents throughout, which you'll see. And I think doing these tiny little flowers, gel pen is perfect for it because they can stay nice and vibrant. Sometimes if you use pencil, you might not get as neat of a result. Maybe. I know that I certainly don't. And I'm just looking at some of the images on the opposing page on the right there, and they would even be small enough for gel pen if you wanted to do the whole lot in gel pen as well. So I'd almost say that in Small Victories, 70% of the pages could be done in gel pen and acrylic markers if you wanted to. And I'm certainly favouring that in a lot of these books. Sorry, I'm favouring that in Small Victories. I'm favouring gel pen and acrylic markers. It's just a really fun medium to use. And to get these little dots, to get that effect, I'm just doing little circles and making it like a little glob. And again, I'm keeping it within the line just to keep that neatness. And I feel like it just neatens the whole thing up, because if you go over that line, you're probably going to start to have gel art petals that are different sizes. So going in with an Ohuhu marker as well. So this is a light green base with blue glitter and a bit of gold there. See how I'm bringing the gold from the first bouquet down to the second? I can't tell if that's a bug or a little bow tie. I'm going to treat it like a little bow tie. I don't think there'd be a bug attached. I don't think so anyway. I mean, who knows? You could make it whatever you want. Okay, and this is one of the Pentel Dual Metallics. I really like these pens. So this is a blue base with green glitter. And then going in with that teal jelly roll that I had up in the first one. So often what I will do too is, say if one bouquet is more gold, I'll make sure that another bouquet is the same, and you'll see it as we go along. You'll see it as the picture develops that I will favour certain colours in the bouquets, and then I'll alternate those as they go through so that everything looks balanced. So I'm not only trying to balance the individual bouquet, I'm also trying to balance the entire page and have the colour dispersion, I suppose, nice and even. And yeah, you'll see what I mean in a sec, but I think I have spoken about it on my bigger pages. So if this is your first time watching a gel pen tutorial, this is the smallest page that I've ever done. Usually I do Johanna Basford's bigger flat lay wallpaper pages, so I will try to remember to link some of those in the description and also as tags in this video, so you can go and watch those if you're looking for a bigger project. Now this is going in with this is a Signo angelic colour. So these have really beautiful colours. However, they don't work over pan pastel. They go a bit gunky. So hence why you need to try and clean off that pastel as best as you can. Going in with that Ohuhu again. So these are the Ohuhu glitter markers. These are my favourites. I've had them for, I think, December. So 1 month after I started my channel, I bought these because I was like, I must have them. They're so good. And that is another Signo there. That is pink in the angelic colour, or maybe even it's the red. I'm not quite sure. So you can see how I'm bringing in this pink, because if you look diagonally down, you can see the pink petals there. So that's how I'm trying to bring the theme of the colours throughout, and I'm trying not to have bouquets that are next to each other to be too matchy-matchy. I'm trying to disperse it out because I think it looks nicer when you look at the page as a whole. It looks nice and balanced. You won't have too much colour clustered into one corner, if that makes sense, unless that was your intention. So say if you're doing a gradient transition across the page, so again with this opposing page that's blank at the minute, you could start off with reds on the left and then go for your oranges, yellows, greens and blues. You could slowly transition your colours. That's one situation where you could certainly group your colours together, but for the purpose of this particular page, I'm trying to just disperse them evenly. This is another Pentel Dual Metallic. So this is the same one that I was using at the bottom right. So again, I'm just trying to evenly disperse those colours. And I'm also considering too, so for example, see how that gold in the top right? So that bouquet is quite heavily gold. So I'm going to make sure that the next bouquet that I have gold in it isn't filled up as much as that one is. I know this sounds like a bit sciencey, but I promise once you start doing these a few times, it'll start to become muscle memory and your eyes will kind of train themselves into what looks good. And sometimes what you could do, if it helps, if you can't visualize where the colors are going to go, jump on Pinterest and have a look at some bouquets and see how the florist artists put them together, and that can help you with your color disbursement too. This is that black pen again, so I like to use the black for some finer details. Unless you wanted to make black one of the main colours, but I think for the purposes of these bouquets, I just wanted to make the black smaller details. And again, you can see how I'm bringing that orange is in the top right and it's also in the bottom right as well. So I'm just trying to bring them, I'm trying to balance it. And I'm just doing little circular motions. Usually what I do is I will go around the outline first and then colour it in if I can, if the shape of the petal allows me to do so. Sometimes it's a bit difficult, but yeah, with these smaller ones, if you try and go around the outside, do your edges first. And try and just, like I've been saying in some of my other tutorials, try and get as close to the line as you can without touching it. Because sometimes you can get a bit of bleed through and bleed out. It's a lot easier once the gel pen dries to go back and add in a little smidge if you've left a section than it is to try and clean it up. I'd prefer to see gaps and fill them in than for it to be globby and then having to try and outline a glob, if that makes sense. But yeah, I'm loving my gel pen stuff. It is so therapeutic. It's really nice to do there's just something about it. Something about it, and gel pen does not bleed through to your pages. The Ohuhu glitter markers will a little bit, depending on what shade you're using and depending on what paper it's on. I find that in Johanna Basford stuff, they're pretty good. There might be a bit of a shadow, but they're not too bad, so I feel pretty safe using them. I certainly wouldn't put alcohol markers in these books unless you're willing to sacrifice the opposing page. Or unless the image is in such a way that you can cover over the bleed through and work with it. I know a lot of creative people do that. I can't, so. Okay, so again, see how I'm just bringing in those accents. So you can see at the middle right there, so that's got the orange. So I'm trying to bring that across too. I'm trying not to have bouquets that are next to each other to be too similar. Oh, I just love this little page. It was so cute. I wish Johanna had brought out multiple small Victory books, and I hope she does in future. And I hope other artists do too. There's something so simple and so cute. And it's really satisfying to watch. As I'm watching this back, I'm just like, yeah. So see how I'm just going around the outside and then filling it in. For me, I find I just produce neater work when I do it that way. So cute. And guys, don't forget, if you complete this page or if you draw inspiration from this page, don't forget to tag me on Instagram. You can even send me your pictures via email if you like. My email address for Ink and Hue is just inkandhuecoloring@gmail.com. It is up on my channel. It's in my description. It should also be on my Instagram as well. If you can't find it, let me know. I can send it to you. Again, it's just ink and hue colouring without the U at gmail.com. Send me your pictures. I'm even thinking, what do you reckon? If I get enough pictures from you guys, maybe I'm going to do a compilation of all the pictures that everyone sends me in a YouTube video for my end of month stuff. I just had that thought yesterday while I was filming my end of month video. I was like, oh, what if I got everyone to email me their pages that they did based off my videos and I like showed everyone? That'd be really cool. So yes, feel free to tag me on Instagram or send me an email for your completed gel pen pages or any pages that you do from my videos. I would love to see them. I love seeing people's interpretations of the same page. It's just wonderful. I find these flowers, when I do these in pencils, so when there's bigger versions of these, I find these ones really hard to shade because the petals are more squishy. So these are just lovely to do in gel pen. And again, this type of flower really shows why staying within the lines and keeping those lines there is good, because if you went over them, you wouldn't see any of the detail. So trying to keep within those lines as much as possible, as close to the edge as you can get without going over it. Now, I will often do a whoopsie. It happens, so don't worry too much if that happens to you. Don't stress. Keep practicing, and I feel like I'm getting better at it as I go along. I certainly feel like my technique on this page compared to my very first gel pen page, even only a month ago, has improved so much. So practice does make improvements. I'm not going to say perfect because we're never perfect. Practice certainly does make improvements. You can see I'm just bringing in that pink that's in the top middle and the right middle as well. So just bringing those across. And we are down to our last one, guys. I can't believe it. This is going to be such a quick, cute little video today. Usually I'm in for like the hour plus videos and, I've got my tea and I'm settled in and here we go and yeah. But no, we are nearly done. And please don't worry if you don't have these specific gel pens. I don't usually go through and mention the exact color and brand and everything like that because I know that we all have different ones. Just use the color equivalents that you have, and that goes for anything in my videos. If you don't have it, just use the equivalent that you have. Find, even if you use different colors, even if you're not someone that's a fan of like pinks and oranges and purples and things, just use whatever color you like. You could even go a muted color, so you could just maybe pick from 3 or 4 colors, even 2. It's really up to you. You might not like glitter, or you might not have the glitter stuff. So just do whatever gel pen colors you have and whatever brand that you like as well. And a tip for keeping your gel pens clean, because as I've said before, it's all about that roller ball being free to move around, and that's what's going to bring that ink out. So I usually have a microfiber cloth next to me, and when things are getting a bit gunky, then I just give it a wipe, give it a clean, and then I've got a scrap piece of paper next to me as well that I just run it over a few times. And sometimes you might have to angle your pen a little bit more upright rather than slanted like we do pencils to get that ink flow nice and smooth. So those are just a couple of tips for keeping your gel pens to work nicely. However, I would suggest investing in the jelly roll if you have the means to do so, because they will produce really nice results for you. I'm not sponsored or paid by them. I just really like the jelly roll. And some different colours there. Okay, guys, look at our lovely bouquets. This is feeling so spring and summery. I think because we're going into autumn, I just need something springy. That way? No, this way. Let's leave it that way. There you go. Thank you so much for joining me today in this quick little burst of creativity. Again, I would love to see your completed pages if you could send them to me via Instagram or via email. And maybe we're going to go ahead and do the right side. We'll see. So have a great day, guys. I will see you in the next video. Stay creative and happy colouring. Bye for now.